everybody initially to send in some questions. As Larry Carr here, Larry sent a couple of questions in, and I sent some off to Huey. One of the questions Larry has, Google Fi recently increased their high-speed data cap to 30 gigabytes per user. He was wondering if he had he has a flexible plan, and he was wondering if he could use that extra space for using it as a hotspot on his phone, his Pixel phone, since at Silveridge, they had about a 6 or 8 hour outage of internet. And the answer to that question, Larry, would be yes. You certainly can use your Pixel phone as a hotspot and use your extra data for that, which should be fine. I don't see any problem with that. The only question that always comes up is that okay for your phone? Your phone has to have the capability to be used as a hotspot. And some people don't think that's a great idea because, particularly over long periods of time, because it might affect the battery. But yes, you can use that full 30 gigabytes for your hotspot. Now, he also was asking about the security of Zoom, which of course we've all been discussing this morning. I had no idea. Huey and I spent a lot of time this week talking about this, and we were wondering the best way to go about this. We had no idea this was going to happen today. There are a number of different options we can do. Certainly, we were offset this by trying to keep this open so that everyone can come, but obviously this is not going to work. We have to have some better way of doing this. We could have a password, and I'll be sending out the password to everybody, which will be 85209, which is the area code of Mesa. So I think we'll have to probably password our meetings and also have people come into a meeting room, and then we will, if we recognize you, we will admit you into the main meeting. So I think there's some things that we can do to get away from some of this nonsense that we're seeing today, and we'll certainly work on that as we move ahead. I wanted to talk about a couple of things this week. I'm just going to share my screen. And what I wanted to talk about was Microsoft's new, announced this week, their new editor. And this is, just watch the video. So that was Microsoft's new editor that they just released this week, and you'll see that, and that can be downloaded as an extension. If you look over here, you'll see the Microsoft editor right here, and this is an extension in your Chrome browser. This has just been released this week. It's free of charge. It's available as a download.
Blurry. Is that just me or is that everybody?
It's blurry. It's blurry.
It's blurry?
Yeah.
Go out and come back again, or just do a new share.
Better now?
Yes. Don't maximize for full screen. Just click the audio to share, but don't do the maximize for full screen.
Okay. So if you come down here, you'll see this is the editor that you can install.
Yeah, see, we can't. Very blurry.
It's blurry again.
Yep.
coming in from a Peppa Pig, Bob.
Hmm?
Peppa Pig, get rid of Peppa Pig. Bob, can you get rid of Peppa Pig?
There he is.
And you need to get rid of, who's this Arnold short person?
How is that? Is that brighter? Is that clear now?
Yeah. See, when you're doing that, you're sharing full screen instead of.
Right. But what I'm gonna do now. But is that come up and is that clear?
On my side for.
Okay. So coming up here, we'll show you. I showed you that the Microsoft Editor. This is just being released this week, and it's I don't know if you've used a program called Grammarly. Grammarly is
Yes.
Grammarly is I have Grammarly on here as well, but this is the new spell checker that Microsoft has released this week, and it's available free of charge for everyone for their and you can use it as an extension, and it is a spell checker. It's supposed to be the Grammarly killer, so everybody might be interested in using that. But that was just released this week. All right. Now, let me move on into the presentation I had today. And I wanted to talk about the topic I want to talk today about was smart TVs. Now, can everybody see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And from the beginning. And so this is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about your smart TV and YouTube. Many of you, if you've purchased a TV in the last 5 years, have purchased a smart TV. But many people that I talk to don't know how their smart TV, don't know what a smart TV is, and don't really know how to connect it to the internet. Now, if you look at, and I'm assuming that everybody, if you've purchased a TV in the last 5 years and you're watching television, most of you are probably watching television through a cable service. Whereas if you have a smart TV, you can watch through a cable service, or you can connect it to the internet. And again, this is the, you'll see here in this, and these are all the apps that once you connect your TV through the internet, you can see these apps. And these are apps that are through the internet. Now I have 4 smart TVs. This is the smart TV I have in the kitchen. I love TCL, and I'll talk a little bit about TCL TVs in a minute. This is our television in the kitchen. This is the television in our bedroom. This is a high-end TCL. This is the television in Gail's sewing room. And I have another one down in Mesa. So these are all smart TVs, and they're connected.
Ron.
Hello?
Please be quiet.
Jack Hoff.
Jack Hoff. Now, how you set your smart TV up is you'll need to go to the settings menu, and you'll see the settings menu down here on the left-hand side. And this is the settings menu in your TV. So you'll take your remote and you go to the settings menu. And if you come up, you'll see it says network. When you click on network, you'll now be able to find the network of your house. And if you look at my networks, you'll see these are all the networks that I have. And of course, this is the one that we're going to connect to. So this is the television, and it's going to connect to my wireless wireless Wi-Fi network. Now, all your TVs, all your smart TVs will be able to do this without any extra equipment. So if you have a TV that's a smart TV, it will have a receiver in there that you can connect to your wireless network. Is that Alex Spark that's the problem? So this would be the idea that you would connect it. Now, when you go to set up your connection, you just click Set Up Connection, and you'll be able to set it up wirelessly. Now, I would ask you is if you have a smart TV, on the back of that smart TV will be an Ethernet cable connection. If you can, if your router is close to your TV, it's always better to plug it directly in rather than going wireless. But if you want to set it up wirelessly, you can set it up. Now, once you're connected, most of you on your TV, when you come to settings, you'll be connecting into a cable box. So then you'll just run normal cable TV. But as you see here, there are a lot of other apps that will be available for you that will be available over the internet, and that'll be available wirelessly. What I wanted to talk today about is something that you should all be using on your television. Most of you probably use this on your computer, but I watch most of my television, and Julie mentioned this last week. We watched most of our most of the TV I watch is on YouTube. Now there are 3 types of YouTube that you could have. You could have YouTube TV, you could have YouTube Premium, and the YouTube TV is a television service. It's nothing, we're not talking about YouTube TV today. YouTube Premium is simply YouTube without commercials, and that's a premium service that you have to pay for. But I want to talk today about just plain ordinary YouTube. And it would be looking like this, and it's an app that you should have on your television. So if you look at the channels on my television, then you will see there is a YouTube app on my TV. Now, most of you who have smart TVs who don't have a Roku or Fire Stick connected to them, or a Chromecast, will have to find, I can't tell you this because every TV setting is different, but if you do not have the YouTube app on your TV, then you can go within the TV and download the app onto your TV, and then you would be able to sign in to YouTube. So you may have to look for this app to get it on your TV. If you have a Roku or a Fire Stick, it'll be readily available. Now, one of the things that's important to know is your smart TV isn't really very smart. It's a lot like going to university for the first year, but you didn't take the next 3 years. So I'm going to tell you your smart TVs aren't very smart. And part of the problem is because unless you have another device like a Roku or Fire Stick, these apps need to be updated and continually improved on. And television companies aren't really that keen on doing that. They're not software companies. Where you'll find that Roku, the Roku service, or the device, or Amazon Fire Stick, these are extremely popular. These will plug into your smart TV as well, and these have all the real current apps. So I'm encouraging you to look into that. But what I wanted everyone today to make sure is that they have the YouTube app on their television, and you can start watching TV through YouTube. And I'll show you some of the things that it can do in a minute. And again, here is the YouTube app that's on my television. Many of you are wondering why I like the TCL television, and that's because it has a built-in Roku device within the television. So I didn't actually have to purchase a second device to hook up. Now, I wanted to just go into, I don't have my television hooked up here, but what I wanted to do was to come over, and I wanted to go to YouTube and talk a little bit about YouTube. Many of you, some of you may have looked at YouTube, know something about YouTube. Again, I'll bring up my YouTube connection here, and we can talk about, here we go. So this is YouTube. If you, now this is not on my television. This, of course, is on my PC. But what I wanted to show you was, and to get to YouTube, you can just type youtube.com and you'll be there. Or if you come over to the side and you click on the little 9-dot menu, this will bring up your YouTube as well. So let's look over and look at what we're looking at here. And again, you would see exactly this on your television if we were using this. So if you come over here, you'll see on the left side, you'll see home. So if I click on home, these are all the shows that YouTube has figured out that I might like. All right, and so many of you who know me, you know that I'm a techie guy, but I also like to cook. So you'll find lots of cooking stuff, and you'll find some stuff on tech and news. So let's look at the, I'm going to find one here that I don't normally, all right, let's say best audio settings for Zoom meetings. This is one. Let's say we want to watch this. So I'm going to click on this video here.
Hey, it's Lorianne Cunningham. And during this time where we're supposed to be
Look, I have no idea who she is, but if I play this video and I liked it, everyone says be sure and hit subscribe and click the bell and give me a thumbs up. So let's talk a little bit about this. If you like this video, you can certainly give it a thumbs up like I did here, and that's we'll bring it up to 411 for her. I can share this video by clicking this button here, and it will bring up and it will give me a link that I can copy and share. So if I want to send this out to everybody or send it out saying, hey, this is a great video, we can certainly do that. I can save this. If I click the save button, it will bring up my playlist, and I can create a new playlist, and I can save it, or I can add it to the existing playlist that I have. Now, if I like what she's done, I want to subscribe to this channel. Now, many of you are probably worried. You're going to say, gee whiz, if I subscribe, am I going to get email? What's going to happen when I subscribe? Is this a bad thing? Am I going to get bombarded with email and stuff I don't want? Well, let's hit subscribe. And now I'll show you what happens in a minute. And there's also a little bell here. So often they'll say, hit subscribe and click the bell. So, and if you click the bell that I've done here, what happens is any new videos that she makes will go into my subscription. And any new videos that she makes, I will also get a notification. Sometimes I want notifications because we're watching important things. All right, let's go back now. So let's go back now, and you will see on the left-hand side, let's go back to home. So these are all just general videos that have come up that I would be that they think I would be interested in. Some of these I've subscribed, some of these I haven't. I'm going to skip trending, but I want to go to subscriptions, and this is where all the shows that I've subscribed to all the subscriptions that I have, and I have about 150. Anybody who makes a new show, this is where it comes. So these are all shows that I have subscribed to, and these are all new videos that have been made. So as I wake up in the morning, I simply come down this list, and look at all the new shows that have been yep. Are we okay? All these are all the new shows. Now, if you go to trending and click the trending button, you'll see you can look at music, games, news, or films, and these are what is trending. So basically, you have home, trending, and subscriptions. Coming up to your library, this is where this is the library, and this is the history. These are all the shows that I've watched over the last few days, and I watch an awful lot of shows. A lot of these are technical tips, and these are all the ones that I've watched. So most of my life is spent on YouTube, and it's also watching. All your current movies are on here, all your shows are on here, and I think Benjamin, we got to get rid of Benjamin. There, we got rid of Benjamin. Okay, so these are all the shows that are on here. Now you can find all movies, audio, visual, all sorts of stuff is all available on YouTube. And while you may do this on your computer, I think this is something you should have on your television, and that will be provide a lot of entertainment for you. Now, why do people want you to subscribe? Why do people want to have you click the button and subscribe and do a like? Well, about 5 years ago, YouTube monetized their system. So if you are a content creator and you are making videos, you need a certain number of people to subscribe, you need a certain amount of likes, and you need a certain amount of content creation, and then YouTube will actually monetize and put ads in into your videos, and you can actually make money at this. And there are some people who make a lot of money making YouTube videos. I would imagine the girl up here that we just looked at, she probably, this is a job for her. Teachers Tech is one common one that I use, and the fellow that does this one makes a very good living. He's a teacher. Of course, you have Geeks on Tour, lots of different shows that are actually monetized and make a lot of money. So this is YouTube. I spend my life in YouTube, and I wanted just to be able to show everybody this, because what I really think you need to do is to use YouTube on your television, and it opens up a whole bunch of information for you. All right, let me get out of here, and I'll stop share. Now this is where Dewey was supposed to take over, and he was going to have his next 30 minutes or 15 minutes talking.
I have a video I wouldn't mind sharing.
Why don't you share your video? Well, yeah, that's a great one. Exactly. Share your video. You got a great video. Let's go for that one.
Now let me start by sharing my screen.
Right. I'll keep an eye on the room here.
Okay. A little video I put together the other day. My dear friends, despite this coronavirus outbreak, I hope all of you are doing well, staying home, staying safe, and keeping your distance from others. I do want to make you aware of quite a few of the cybersecurity scams that are currently going around. Be especially careful of all the fake news releases concerning the coronavirus. They are rampant. If you want to keep up with the latest information, these sites in various locations throughout the world are legitimate websites where you can get the latest and most accurate information. Be very careful with your online shopping. With shortages of essential items, many of us are tempted to shop at online stores we usually never use. Probably some sites we've never heard of, but they seem to offer the items we're looking for. Products can be fake, prices are usually inflated, and you may never get what you ordered. Best advice is stick with the reputable online vendors. You may have to wait a little while to get what you're looking for, but at least you will get what you are seeking. Be careful. It's a dangerous time, not only for our health, but also for our financial well-being. This is also a time where we need to be especially careful of fake email scams. Most prevalent email scam making the rounds right now comes from the World Health Organization, WHO. CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, is coming in as a close second. I've also seen some coming from the IRS, requesting information so that you can get your stimulus check. All of these, of course, are fake. You need to be careful. Don't fall for any of these. And always verify before you attempt to answer any emails. This is also a time when many of us reach out to help those in need. But please be careful. Fake charities are also rampant. They're scheming, crafty, aggressive, and sometimes malicious. Before you make a donation, check with a site like Charity Watch or Charity Navigator to make sure that the donation you're about to make is going to a worthwhile charity. Stay safe, be free. I hope this helps. And that is a video you can find on my YouTube channel.
Excellent. Thanks, Bob. That's great. I had one more video I wanted to show everybody. And this has to do with grocery shopping. This is available through Walmart. I suspect this is from the US, so it probably won't affect Canadians. But I wanted just to show you, this is on how to shop online with Walmart. Let me just share my screen again.
Huey's back on.
Oh, is he?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. Hold on.
Where?
Do you want to, where are you?
I'm right here.
Yeah, he's here.
I'll make you, we'll make you a co-host as well. Now we got 3 co-hosts. Do you want to do your, it's 9:30, do you want to do your talk?
Yeah, that's fine. I need to. Robin's on her way to the hospital in an ambulance.
Oh, no.
I can't go with her and I can't visit her, so I might as well sit here and get lost in this.
I'm sorry. Are you feel okay about that?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, it'll relax me, actually.
Okay. Well, you're co-host. I made you a co-host, so
Okay,
go for it.
you want me to go ahead and share my screen and go ahead?
Share your screen and go for it.
Okay, let's, I want to go here. Just give me a second.
Thanks for your help, Bob.
Anytime.
Bob, thank you for filling in. I have big shoes. Well, actually, all of my clothes are big, but where to go here? Well, there we go. Should be this one. No, I got to do it down here. Okay, I know. Okay. And okay, I'm going to talk about some things to do in your spare time. And if any of you are into old-time radio or TV, you can listen or watch entertainment from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. You can even go, there's old-time radio going back into the 30s and probably even a little bit before that. And it helps bring back some memories, help escape from the everyday. On the left is what a radio looked like back before. I don't remember one at our house like that. We had a table radio, but people would sit around the radio. And then the picture on the right, believe it or not, that's me in front of our first TV. It was a 19-inch Majestic TV. Anyway, here are some old-time radio people and some old-time TV people that you can avail yourself of. these are places, I'm going to talk about places where you can go to find recordings and find some of these old time stuff. And I do it a lot. I wear a little Bluetooth over the ear headset, and I'll lay in bed and I'll listen to old time radio. And one of my favorites is it's called rock. It used to be called rock radio. Now they call it Rocket Classic Radio. They have a Google app. They have an iOS app, but you can also go to their website. And by the way, I got a list of all of the websites for these. This is one of the topics that they have, and it's American comedy. It's probably the one I listen to the most. And when you look at it, it'll say the radio schedule, and then it'll say now playing whatever is playing, and then you click to listen. So here is a schedule of just a few hours in a couple of the days of some of the old radio programs. Some of you may remember these, some may not, depends on your age and where you grew up and how you grew up. But, you know, there's the old Milton Berle and Bob Hope, Mel Blanc, Life with Luigi and Duffy's Tavern, Life of Riley, and you can read, as you read that, Amos and Andy, The Great Gildersleeve, You Bet Your Life, and so on. These are some from one of the other channels. This one happens to be the Mystery Channel, and you can see some suspense and Rogues Gallery, Squad Cars, and the lineup. So a lot of these became TV shows after a while. And then there were, this was a mixture of things, so there's some more programs. You might recognize some of them. One of the websites you can go to has all of the Jack Benny programs, and you can just click on one of the links, and it will start playing the show. And a lot of them give you when it was, who sponsored it, because in those days, the sponsors were part of the radio show. Let's see. Let's see if you recognize this comedy show. Some of you might.
Henry Aldrich. Coming, Mother.
Are you able to hear that?
Yes.
Let's go to the next screen. Oops. How about this Western?
Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
It almost makes you want to go listen to the show, doesn't it? And one more I got here. How about a mystery show?
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Shadow, Lamont Cranston, a man of wealth, a student of science, and a master of other people's minds, devotes his life to righting wrongs, protecting the innocent, and punishing the guilty. Using advanced methods that may ultimately become available to all law enforcement agencies, Cranston is known to the underworld as the Shadow. Never seen, only heard, as haunting to superstitious minds as a ghost, as inevitable as a guilty conscience. The Shadow's true identity is known only to his constant friend and aide, Margot Lane. Today's story, Death from the...
Okay. And The one that I showed you is oldtimersradiodownloads.com, and then there's Comedy Jack Benny, but I'm going to give you a list of all of those in just a second. This is Old Time Radio, Dragnet and Philip Marlowe and Richard Diamond, the Texas Rangers, and there's just there's 4,200 radio programs on this particular website. Here's another one where you can listen to Our Miss Brooks, Green Valley Line, let's see, Terry and the Pirates, and then there's other topics down below that. OTRnet.net is OTR network library, and you can see there's just tons of different titles, and let's see, Adventures of Sam Spade, there's 55 different programs. Air Adventures of Jimmy Allen, 120 programs. The Inner Sanctum, 106. So you can listen to your heart's content while you're doing other things around the house. So when you're cleaning out the closet, you've got something to keep you interested in what you're doing. Zoot Radio is another one, and again, you can recognize some of the titles that are down there of programs if you grew up in this era. If you didn't, it's really interesting to how they can make you visualize without having a TV screen in front of you what's going on. Okay, what about television now? Yesterday Television Group is a Facebook group that I'm on. Here's Space Patrol, Season 1, Episode 7. They had, I think these were claymation or puppets or something. That's how they did science fiction back in those days. Here's Space Patrol again, another picture. Yesterday Television is another Facebook site that I go to, and you can see they do complete programs. Here's 67 years ago on April 3rd was an adventure of Ozzie and Harriet from 1953. Here's Annie Oakley, some of you might remember, from 1955. The Gene Autry Show from 1950. And of course, there was always Howdy Doody, which was the first nationally televised children's TV program, and it was first called Puppet Playhouse. A lot of those are available on YouTube or on some of these channels as well. And it's fun going back and watching how they did things back in those days. One of my all-time favorites was Topper. I think I've watched every one of these at least 2 or 3 times over the years growing up. But it was 1954 when this one first aired. It was on from 53 to 55. As the World Turns, if maybe some of you were into watching the soap operas, and a lot of those are available now. This is one from 1960 from As the World Turns, which was on the air for 54 years. And who remembers what she was about to say? Anybody? Where's the beef? And what about, there's a lot of things out there, old commercials and things that take us back. And I did, by the way, Ron, I cut it down a little bit more because it was so long. But you want to learn how to use that old telephone? Well, here's how we learned way back then.
Consult your directory for any number you're not sure of. Write the number down. Like this. It will save you a lot of time and trouble if you keep the numbers in front of you while dialing. Now, let's use this demonstration model for a moment while we dial our number. Take up your receiver and always listen for the dial tone. Remember how it sounds, a steady hum. Now, let's dial the number we looked up and made a note of. Remember, always be sure to dial the first 2 letters of the central office name, then the 5 numbers. For example, for word 49970, dial W O 4 9 9, 7, 0. When dialing, notice that I brought my finger around until it firmly touched the finger stop. And now I remove my finger and let the dial go back by itself. Failure to bring your finger firmly to the finger stop with each pull of the dial may cause you to reach a wrong number. The same can happen if you force the dial back instead of letting it go back by itself. For incorrect dialing causes inconvenience and delay, not only to you, but to anyone you may have dialed in error. Another important point to remember when dialing is that wherever you have the letter O or the numeral O, as in our example number worth 49970, you will find the letter O next to N on the left side of the dial. The numeral O is always in the same space with the word operator. Now, soon after you dial the number you want, you will hear this tone. That's the ringing signal, an interrupted burring sound. Now, it tells you that the telephone at the number you dialed is ringing. The ring will continue until the telephone is answered, or if there is no answer, until you hang up. So let the telephone ring for at least a minute, or about 10 rings, to give the person you're calling time to answer. Now, if the number dialed is busy, you will hear a signal like this. The busy signal, a buzz-buzz sound. When you hear this signal, hang up. Try again a little later.
So we had help back then too. Okay, here's some, and I'll send these slides. I'll send the slides to Ron so he can post them so you can get all of these links. But all the things I talked about are here and here and here. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is Pluto TV. If you've got a smart TV or a Roku box or a Fire TV, get Pluto TV. They have all kinds of classic TV programs. The Lucy Show, Roy Rogers, The Naked City, The Lone Ranger, Flipper, Bonanza, Car 54, Where Are You? And so on. All of these are on their classic TV channel, and there's other channels with a lot of the old TV shows. And that's it. Let me stop sharing. But it's something to do. I hope I brought back a few memories for you and a place to go spend time listening to them, because I just get a kick out of a lot of these old radio programs.
Excellent. Thank you, Huey. Now, this is the time in the show that we like to have an interaction. We wanted to, if we will unmute whoever we, if you wave your hand, we'll unmute you. I know Dewey wants to talk. All right, we'll unmute. What we want to do is tell us what you're doing. Tell us how you are. That we want this to be an interactive part of the show. So Dewey, you go.
Hello, hello. Am I? Are you hearing me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Very good. Well, anyway, I sat down and wrote a little piece last night called "An Extraordinary Opportunity." From what I've seen and heard in recent days, government and medical officials are asking people to do their part to tame this coronavirus threat and hasten the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm being told that I need to stay at home, keep a minimum 6-foot distance from everyone, except my wife, wear a face mask, wipe down and sanitize, etc. You know the whole gig. Well, rather than feel really put upon and inconvenienced, I look at this next 3 to 4 weeks as an extraordinary opportunity. We arrived back home just a few days ago from our Mesa wintering spot and at Silveridge. And anyway, I've got some ideas. Both Joanne, my wife, and I have smartphones that have a lot of photos. We also have laptop computers. So here's my little list of things to do at this time of extraordinary opportunity. Number one, download photos from both my phone and my wife's phone onto our respective computers. I know there are people who will say, oh, we do everything in the cloud, fine and dandy. You do it your way, I'll do it mine. After we each take the necessary time to delete photos that we deem not essential or desirable to save, we'll create folders on the computer to store these photos based on the year and month the photos were taken. We plan to make no less than 2 or 3 photo books using Shutterfly, because we have a number of family members that are very familiar and can help us, and we have some freebies from Shutterfly, etc. We even make more if this works. I know Ron will probably ask why we don't use Google for the photo books, and the answer is simply that I plan to use a neat non-Google photo editing tool that I've used for years to edit each photo and make it, crop it, make it absolutely desirable for a photo book. Now, here's point 4 of things to do. Clean up and improve the organization of more than 5,000 files on my PC, laptop computer. Also add several pieces of software, update others, and get rid of unnecessary software on my otherwise relatively new Dell laptop. Now, point 5, I have no less than 15 to 20 items to sell on Craigslist, as well as some to sell on eBay. You have to choose which one is the best to sell on based on what the item is like, and if you need a national exposure for the item, or local regional will be sufficient. However, this is probably a bad time to sell on Craigslist, but I still can prepare the listings for when this COVID-19 thing goes away and we operate normally once again. Let's see, another one. I have, this is my last item. I have at least 500 12-inch LP records that I need to go through and dispose of many of them because there isn't a big market for them, donate others, and I have a few relatively precious ones that I think are saleable on eBay. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a list just to inspire my fellow computer club members here to take this time and do something great, get things done that you ordinarily wouldn't get done. Have a great day.
Thanks, Dewey. Thanks a lot. Anybody else? Let's have a, wave your hand. Joyce. Oh, hold on. Let's do Joyce. Joyce put her her hand up. Just let me unmute Joyce. Joyce. There you go.
Okay, great. Talking about Shutterfly, I have a really good friend who has 2 grandchildren, and I did something special for her birthday. I just got them in the mail. See if you can see them. They're Shutterfly photos of her grandchildren. I had them made into coasters, and I just got them yesterday. There were 4 of them for, I think it was around $30 total. Great gift. Something to do.
Thanks, Joyce. That's great. Dewey, did you see that? Yeah, good. Excellent.
Does she want to see them? Does your wife want to see them?
Sure.
So they're going to be a birthday present for my good friend. They're her grandchildren.
All right. Thanks, Joyce. Who else? We've got a lot of people on here. Who else would like Roger? Roger, let's get Roger, and I'll unmute Roger here. Okay. How are you doing?
Yeah, I've got a comment for Huey. Number one is that the audio files are listening to those old records, and some of them are becoming valuable. So he should probably look into what he's going to give away before he does that. I'm not into it, but I've heard it. But I've got a question about the Fire Stick. Yes. I got my Fire Stick working, but I don't get any audio. And the question is, do I have to create an account with Amazon to get audio, or should I be able to get audio just without creating an account? I don't really want to create an account unless I have to.
So the question is, you have an Amazon Fire Stick, and yes, you want to, you have it connected.
Yes.
now the Amazon Fire Sticks that I've always been connected to an account. I'm not sure. Bob, do you know, you're nodding your head. I don't think you can connect a Fire Stick if you don't have an Amazon account.
That's my understanding too.
I get the picture. I just don't get the audio.
Yeah. Now you have it plugged directly into the back of your TV, right?
Yeah.
And you're getting but you're not getting the audio coming out of the TV.
I don't know if there's anything in settings.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not a techie. You people probably know that. But I've pushed every button that I can think of more than once, and I just can't get it to work. And obviously my audio on my TV works. And I work through a sound bar, and I've taken the sound bar off and tried the audio on the TV and the audio on the sound bar. Either one of them work with the Fire Stick.
All right. Roger, let me do some investigation on that.
Have you checked out if there's a mute button on the remote control of the Fire Stick? Perhaps.
Yes, there is, and I've tried that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one where you were at my place in Mesa just before we left, or around March the 5th or so. And you kind of gave me the ups. I thought so. Yeah.
I thought so. I recognize you.
Yeah. You gave me the ups and downs on the Fire Stick, but like I said, I don't get audio. But anyway, that's just a comment.
All right.
Have you done a search? Have you done a search on the internet for that problem?
No, I haven't. I find that when I do searches for a problem, it's probably, I get a book that I have to go through, and there's so many possibilities that by the time it never seems to work for me. And I thought, well, this has got to be a pretty simple problem. It's either I have to have an account, which I really don't want to do, or,
Roger, the other thing is if you go on YouTube and do a YouTube search, you may find a specific video on YouTube that will be related to that problem.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Larry, can you tell us, how about Larry Carr? Can you tell us what's happening at Silveridge?
Well, most people have abandoned the ship, including my Canadian friends. The last one left this morning. We're clear up to 68 degrees, headed to a high of 80 today, and they're going back to who knows what. But I've seen some of that Vancouver Island pictures that Ron posts, and it also looks good, so I understand life is good. It's just kind of in the same place.
Indeed. Yes, Bob.
Just a little search. Does your TV allow sound through HDMI?
I have to assume it does. The TV is a good quality TV, and it's around 5 years old.
Okay.
So I'll look at that. Yeah.
Jerry, you're a man of many words. You should say something. Hold on, You're a man of many words. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great. Just got out of jail yesterday there at 4:30, so went for my first walk, got some fresh air, and yeah, life is great.
Excellent. Who else? Anybody else want to say something? We've got about a couple of minutes left. Anybody saw some great movies? I take nobody's been to the movie theaters. Come on now, nobody's been there. As I told everybody, oh yeah, Chris always likes to There you go.
Okay. When your comments about TVs and how you like TCLs, we bought a TCL because it had a Roku on it, and we're very sorry we bought it. The reason is, as we buy TVs, the guide that's available on the various TVs is very different. The Samsung guide and the Vizio guides give us the shows and a listing of shows coming up. On the no, we're talking about antenna TV now. When you go on the Roku TV, it only tells you what you're watching now, and that seems to be true whether or not we've got the Roku TV hooked up to the internet. Maybe we just don't know how to put it on there, but if we don't have it hooked up to the internet, we don't have a TV guide. On the other two, we do. I have no way to tell no idea how to tell ahead of time how good the guides are in the various brands of TV, but that's just a heads up that the TCL TV we have only lists the program we're on now and doesn't give us a listing of all the other. It gives us a listing of the programs on the other channels, but not anything forward or backward. So we have to run out to the Vizio TV and look at the guide, and then run into the TCL TV to figure out what station to put it on. Anyway, that's my comment.
All right, it's now 10 o'clock. This is the time when we have to say goodbye to everybody. Huey and I and Bob, thanks for stepping in. We'll be want to wish everybody a safe week. We'll be back again, same time, same place. Huey and I have got a little work to do to keep everybody safe and keep those bad guys out. I think probably we'll have a meeting room open and have everyone come into a meeting room, and then Huey and I and maybe Bob can help. We will accept people into our meeting if we know you. I think that's probably one of the things that we'll do next week. What do you think, Huey?
Yeah, we got to figure out a way to identify them because we may not know everybody that's coming in.
Right.
Okay, and I do want to, if before you go, I do want a last minute comment if I could. Sunday, which happens to be Easter Sunday, is the second Sunday of the month when I do the Windows Special Interest Group for the Central Florida group, but we open it up to the rest of you. If you need the link, go to huey.net, sign up for my newsletter. It'll be sent out probably about Thursday. It'll have the link for my session. It's mostly about Windows. I haven't put a list together yet about what the topics will be, but it'll be stuff that I found in the last month about Windows 10 and other Windows. And Ron sent me an interesting article about Microsoft Editor, and hopefully I can learn something by then to talk about it as well.
All right, everybody.
Huey, we hope your wife will be just fine and get out of the hospital quickly.
Thank you so much. I hope so too.
Goodbye, everyone. Until
Bye.
next week. Until next week. We'll see everybody back again next week.